men, and I use the term loosely. We're going to do a quick follow-up to Wednesday's video about smarter than a lug nut. And yeah, I know you guys, because you're my viewers, I know you guys are all smarter than a lug nut. Some people, I don't know, not so much. I've seen some pretty stupid mechanical shit going on out there. But anyway, comments is always very, very entertaining, very informative. Uh, I do read all of the comments for all the videos. I don't often respond, as you may have noticed. I'm a busy guy. I got a lot going on, and sometimes I just don't get around to it. I know I should, but I don't. But anyway, on this video, interesting comments. Some of them very entertaining. I got one guy, Dan, says, some people, kids, buy them books and a horse to go to school. What do they do? What do they do? Stand on the books and screw the horse. That's some funny shit. I don't care who you are. Another guy, M. Short. My guess is that it had some fancy deep mag wheels on it and they were removed. Yeah, guy says he had the same thing happen. He had mag wheels and a flat head. Had to put a steel wheel on it. And of course, now the lug nuts are incorrect. But he made it home, and since then he carries spare lug nuts. Smart guy. Another guy comments on my extra cranking down with the breaker bar. He does the same thing. And I don't know. I've been a mechanic for, more than 50 years. And I've never trusted an impact gun to deliver consistent, accurate torque. And I know these days you're supposed to be able to dial in a torque and set it, and it's all supposed to be good. I've never trusted that, never. I know from having worked in places that there's a lot of gas stations and shops. The guy will have a pneumatic torque wrench, and he'll dial it up to whatever the max is, and just crank it down and keep cranking until the nut don't budge. And generally speaking, that's going to be very difficult to remove. So I usually don't run them on that tight, but I do crank mine up to whatever the max is, and I'll run it until it makes contact and kind of bottoms out on there, and I'll stop hitting it. Some guys keep hitting it, and a lot of that depends on the pressure your compressor is putting out. My gun, I keep my compressor set to 100 psi, is usually plenty for any of the work I do. But and I think it kicks on. I think it kicks on. I think it kicks on at 75. The tank runs up to 150, and the regulated output is 100. So depending on where it is in the cycle, the output pressure can't fall below 100, and I notice sometimes I'll have a hard time getting it off. Well, I wait till the compressor kicks on, runs till it shuts off, and then I'll hit it again, and it'll take whatever the stuck object is off. So there's a lot of variables there with a pneumatic gun, and I always throw a breaker bar on stuff that I tighten with one of those just to get a feel of where it's at. Usually I give them a little bit more. Sometimes I actually back them off and then go back up again if I feel like they were too tight. So yeah, I always do a double check with the breaker bar just to make sure. I've been mechanicking more than 50 years. I trust my feeling of torque more than I trust a pneumatic gun, I guess is what I'm saying. Ed Zilla 64. Ed's got a channel, and he's got a bunch of Harleys and does all kinds of mechanicking on them, and says the same thing. Whoever put the long shank nuts on there definitely was not smarter than a lug. Absolutely right. And just FYI, click on Ed's channel. He does a lot of Harley stuff. He's got a 76 sports that's been giving him fits lately. And if you're looking at the comments and you see a picture of the guy, That's a link to his like home channel page. So anytime you see that, you could click on it. It'll take you to the author's homepage. And if they've got a channel with videos, they'll be right there for you to see. Here's another guy, Don. There are some wonderful wrenches out there. Yes, there are. And he was working on a VL Harley, and found a steel plug in the hand pump line to the crankcase. Who would have thought? And I'm barely familiar with VLs. I mean, I've seen a few. Um, but on the VLs, one side of the gas tank is a gas tank, the other side is an oil tank. And there's a hand pump on the oil tank. You pump it a few times and it squirts oil down into the motor. And those bikes, amongst other models, I do believe, are where the phrase total loss oil came from. They did not have a mechanical pump driven off of the engine. They had a hand pump on the gas tank. They had a hand pump on the oil tank. You're not going to get oil out of a gas tank. But anyway, you pump the hand pump, squirt some oil in there, the oil goes through the engine, gets burned, leaks out, whatever, and it's gone. Pump some more oil in there, and you do that until the oil tank is empty. But yeah, that's where total loss oil came from. So if you're working on one of those, I would assume, and once again, you know what happens when you assume stuff, right? I would assume that the guy working on it must have known something about it. And you would think knowing how the oil pump works is elemental to understanding, the engine. How do you work on something with a hand pump oil pump and then put a ball bearing or whatever in there to block the line to the engine? Unexplainable. Just how stupid can some people be? Anyway. Another guy, Dave, doesn't understand how you could leave those lug nuts on there like that with the washer flopping around in the wind. Not even mechanic 101 level. It's 7th grade shop class. Yeah, you would think a guy would know a washer that isn't clamped between a nut and a bolt or a nut and a stud. It's not going to do anything. And you wouldn't think you would have to point that out to somebody. If I was standing behind a guy who installed that, and I looked at what he was doing, I'd have to tap him on the shoulder and say, "Hey, dumbass, that washer ain't doing anything." Oh, don't get me started. Anyway, another comment from Tin Man. Lots of nuts in the world. Some are acorns and some are Karens, and some who own wrenches. Yep. As a lad in the dealership, his mentor, Jack, crusty old WW2 sailor, went to say, "Possession of dental tools does not a dentist make." Yeah, that's for sure. I've seen some guys with some very nice tools who didn't have a clue as to which end to hang on to. Oh well. Sell your tools, pay the bill. Yeah. Here's Renegade, definitely lugger than a smart nut. Now that's funny. Another guy, assume the customer drove it to my shop. No, he didn't. It came in on a flatbed, non-running. And I think I commented in the video, I don't think the wheel would have fallen off immediately. I think it would have fallen off eventually. The shanks of those nuts was a little bit snug on the wheel, but nonetheless, you take a steel wheel with a lug nut in the hole, and then you beat it around on a road. Pretty soon the hole's going to get bigger than the lug nut. Once the holes get big and the wheel starts moving on there, it's going to start wobbling around. I think you'd have plenty of warning before it fell off, but nonetheless, that's not something you want to test in actual use. Yeah. Here's another one. Gee, Rosie, if you're not smarter than a lug nut, you're a dipstick. Yeah, well, I've been called a dipstick before. I am smarter than a lug nut. I guarantee. I might not be the smartest knife in a drawer, but I got the lug nut beat. I understand that concept. Another guy, his dad owned a Willys Jeep. One side had right hand thread, the other side had left hand thread, except some were right hand. It seems like a stud would get dicked up, and nobody had a left one, so they put in a right hand one. So some on one side of the Willys was lefty, and some were righty. And that's the thing when you got an old piece of machinery, you never knew what came before you. And you run into that. Those things are full of landmines and booby traps. And, you got to be aware to look out for the previous owner, the previous mechanic, because they do some strange shit. Another guy commented on the electric start. He wants one. And in one of the videos, it might be from the Patreon side actually, I was corrected. I think I said in the video that electric start setup started in 1967. The previous commenter, like I say, I think off the Patreon views, because the Patreon guys always get the video first, commented that the first year for that was 65. Like I say, I thought it was 67. And there are problems that I will explain in future videos about that particular electric start setup. So I did hop on eBay and thinking, well, how much could a new one be? And a new one could be a lot. The ones I saw were between $2,500 and $3,000, which in my opinion is more than a whole damn motorcycle is worth. And with as many of those three-wheelers as were floating around, I would have thought there'd be lots of them out there. And I would have thought that the demand would be pretty low, but apparently not. So yeah, those electric start transmission top housings, apparently kind of rare and kind of hard to come by, and apparently worth a lot of money. So the one that's on that bike, I didn't repair it, but I think it is repairable. And if that particular owner wants to keep that machine, that's something he should probably address. Another commenter, those are mag wheel lug nuts. Yes, they are for sure mag wheel lug nuts. Mag wheels have a whole different theory of attachment than a steel wheel. On a steel wheel, that cone on the lug nut wedges itself into the wheel and makes it tight. On a mag wheel, if you used a cone like that into the mag, you probably stand a good chance of cracking the wheel, because that cone will just spread the aluminum until it cracks. So attaching aluminum and attaching steel are two different things. Another commenter, John, sometimes you use what you got laying around, and yeah, I do that all the time. I've got new parts, old parts I keep on hand, all kinds of raw stock, nuts and bolts, new and old I keep on hand, and I'll use what I need to sometimes to get a job done, but only if it's suitable for its intended purposes. You can't put something on there that you know is not correct, knowing it greatly increases the likelihood of failure. But anyway, that's it for the Lug Nut video comments. I let you take another look at the trike, but it's out of here. Guy picked it up, I don't know, yesterday, day before, whatever. So it's gone. Tomorrow, I got a Sportster coming in with tranny problems. Apparently, a previous mechanic put bolts in the trapdoor that were too short, and the trapdoor wasn't tight against the case, and the trapdoor cracked, and there was collateral damage. So that bike will be in here hopefully tomorrow, and I'll do some videos on that. In the meantime, starting Sunday, let's see, today is Friday. This video is going on Friday. Sunday morning, the regular video is coming out. It's part 1 of 3 on the three-wheeler. And then depending on what this transmission job produces, I'll probably have a video or 2 on that transmission. But for now and for today, thank you all ever so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I am out of here.
Man,
If you like this channel and this content, the single most important thing you could do to help grow this channel is to hit the subscribe button. I also have new design coffee cups and stickers available. You know, I like the old coffee cups, but I like these new ones even more. Links are included in the description down below. And for those of you who really want to go the extra mile, you could join me on Patreon. Link is also included in the description down below. And to all of you who have watched these videos, I'd like to say thank you. Thank you very much. I really, really do appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Bye. And now, 2 words from our sponsor.
Super clean.
Ooh, nice.